That's something the pandemic took away from me. I don't see your mom ever. Honestly.
What would you say?
I mean, I would always run into her somewhere. Like, and I would just hear her.
That was you were expecting, that's what the pandemic changed. I don't see my parents anymore, but it wasn't that. It was like, I don't see your mother anymore.
Yeah, my mom is one of those.
Another person's
my mom is one of those.
Instead of seeing his parents, man, the pandemic.
I see my parents sometimes.
I don't see your mom anymore.
Guys, I'm serious. My mom is a little celebrity. I get stopped in the street. I would get stopped in the street. It's like, todos χαιρετίζουμε στη μαμά σου. Εντάξει, από τη βούλα.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Just Us Dads. Thank you all for tuning Thank you all for tuning in to another Dadversation. We got a great guest today, a good friend of ours, and we'll go through what he does and how he is helping us. But more than anything, he has great stories. He's just a blast. So let's have him.
My wife just texted me that I'm yelling, so I have to lower my voice.
So like always, we're here. Boys, how are you?
Good. My wife does the same thing, Phil, but she doesn't text stop yelling. You know what she texts? We are not deaf.
Oh, I mean, she's kind of deaf.
We're not deaf. That's an amazing, indirect way of just telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like a Greek mom thing, right? It's like you don't pick something up, and she's like, "It looks nice there, that piece of trash on the floor. I like it. We should put a fucking frame around it." And you're like, "Yeah, I'll take out the trash." I'm sorry.
Were your parents? Did your parents still use sarcasm like as if they invented it? Because my father is like the king. It was always every single day. Now that you mentioned the dirty stuff, his favorite line, especially when we're getting close to that age where we're moving out, or we're getting married, or close to getting engaged and all that stuff.
So like 40.
so it was like his preparation thing. He's like, all right, so let me know when you guys move out and I'll get you guys a chicken. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, you're gonna need
I know this one.
Out without a chicken. I'm like, what? So now you don't know if he's serious or if he's joking, so you kind of want to hear the end of it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, who's gonna pick up all the worms in your house? Because you're gonna be so dirty. You're gonna be so filthy.
That's like the original troll. Yeah.
And it's a very Greek spirited joke.
Yeah. I'm trying to picture his dad saying it. Hold on. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty solid.
Because the chicken is not actually picking up worms; it's picking up shit.
Well played. I mean, that's a double entendre.
But ultimately, he's saying you're completely useless and you're gonna fail.
My parents don't like that. I don't think. My parents aren't off the boat though. My parents, we hail from a land of myth and legend called Côte d'Ivoire. That's where my parents were born and raised. So I never had that. My grandparents were downstairs, and my other father, the last king of Sparta, may he live 1,000 years. He was he would just come in and he would say something. I don't know what the English word for spoda is, but he would just walk in and be like, "It's a good thing you're not that ugly," and he'd just leave. I'm like, what?
Just like that.
Just drop it and he's gone. I was like, all right, thanks, man. That was thank you.
It's pretty fucking mean.
I didn't know.
No, it was a compliment.
I didn't know your parents were born here. I thought they came here really young.
No. My parents, both of them, I think when they were born, they were living in the Mile End where all the Greeks were.
Yeah.
And by the time they were 5, and my mom maybe 6, they were living in Côte d'Ivoire. They had moved. They were one of the few families that followed the building of the Greek community. They were expanding into Outremont, so they went that way, thinking everyone would come, and nobody came.
Phil, for those who are watching or listening, he's a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Phil.
Yeah, he says
my name is Phil. I just saw it.
My name tag. Is that going to be on the episode, George?
No,
Can people see that? Oh.
They can't see that.
I changed my name in Zoom, guys. It paid off later, so it worked out.
That was good. My name is Phil.
My name's Phil.
So yeah, filmmaker who's helped. I've worked with him in the past. He's done some work for me, and we've worked together on some projects. And for those, actually, it's a good time to kind of introduce this. We released a video earlier this week, so if you guys didn't see it, funny little video clip. It was edited by Phil. Magnificent work, and obviously we appreciate it. For those wondering if it's not the quality, he didn't film it, he didn't shoot it, he just edited it. So
I mean, and George graciously agreed to let me put my my name at the end, but I didn't want to take away from the show. Also, the footage was so poorly shot, I didn't want to be associated with it publicly. But thank you for outing me.
That's what I was gonna say, guys. If you like the clip, Phil did it. If you don't, we did it.
There you go.
Simple. It's as simple as that.
I mean, it's amazing what a little bit of Hunt for Red October sound effects can do to a bad footage. It really elevated it.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's Hunt for Red October. That's where that comes from.
With Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They never caught the Red October though. I saw that movie. It was very disappointing.
I don't even remember the Hunt.
I remember.
It's the submarine.
You remember that movie, George? Yeah, it's good.
Classic.
I remember watching
Classic.
it. Yeah. Phil, tell me something. I wanted to. We want to. We bring a lot of dads. We question them a little bit about their family, their setting, a little bit what they do, and you have a pretty unusual job. I mean, unusual. It's not like you're common. You didn't follow that model where I'm going to go get a job. There's an employer, and then there's me, and then I work and I wake up. You don't have. It's not the regular 9 to 5 kind of thing. Like you actually have to run and struggle for your money, type of thing. So there's many ups and downs and all that stuff.
I'm confused. Do people just give you money? Am I doing something wrong?
No, but what I'm saying is that it's very different from someone that goes to work 9 to 5 and every week or every 2 weeks, whatever, you know that there's money coming in your account, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So obviously you're self-employed, so there's a huge difference over there. But well, first of all, what about COVID? How have you been dealing with COVID? Because I was telling these guys that you've gone through so much crap.
Fuck,
the fact that I think that you're slightly hypochondriac. You can tell them how many times you've been tested. we don't want to.
I mean, the testing, to be completely honest, like all jokes aside, has nothing to do with how anxious I am. It's just that whenever one of the kids gets sick, if 4 days go by and like they haven't dropped their fever, especially the younger one, who's my youngest is 13 months or 14 months this month. The pediatrician, we got lucky. Our pediatrician is open. He will see them, but they need a negative COVID test, and whoever accompanies them has to also have a negative COVID test. So every time she gets sick, we get tested. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm not like, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
I've only been tested because I wanted to be tested for myself twice. Both those times, I shit you not, I thought I was dying. Forget COVID. I was so sick. Then the first time was right at the beginning of I remember right before they announced the closing of the daycares, which is when COVID started for me. Fuck whenever everybody else shut down. The second I had no more daycare access, I was like, that's it. It's the end of the world. So I had a 3-month-old or a 4-month-old at home, and the older one who was 3.5 at the time. And I remember that day, we were shooting this just thing with Pantelis, and he looks at me after the episode. He goes, I feel weird. And we didn't really know about COVID yet. Like we knew, but whatever. And he says, I feel weird. I go, yeah, I'm kind of feeling scratchy. My throat's kind of itchy too, That night he calls me, he goes, dude, I've been watching the news. They're going to lock down the daycares. I have 102 fever. I'm like, fuck, me too. And we had all the symptoms, like loss of smell, everything. So I got tested eventually, like once I was well enough to walk. Who knows? Maybe I had it, honestly, and I just waited too long. I don't know, because it felt like my brain was on fire. And the last time was in February. My daughter came home, classic kids. You basically make like a genetic copy of yourself that gives the virus just enough information so it can slip into you easily. Like it gets in the kid, they get a runny nose, the virus fights, it's like, I got to get in here. Once it's figured out the framework, it can easily jump from them to you and just ravage you. Like dad cold is a thing. My wife is now living her version of that. A month and a half ago, the little one got sick. She came home, gave the baby a runny nose. I was laid out for 2 weeks, like all the COVID symptoms. Not COVID, but all the COVID symptoms. My wife, miraculously untouched, like Jesus walking through fucking fire. This time around, she comes home with a runny nose. I'm like, uh-oh. The little one gets it. I'm like, it's coming. I've just been waiting for the other shoe to drop for like a week now. My wife is in the other room, like half dead. She's been sick for 5 days and she never gets sick. Somehow, like knock on wood, I dodged it this time. George was trying to prove the point that I'm a nervous wreck. I'm a worrier. I worry about things. I always have been. The pandemic is probably the best thing that ever happened to me, to be completely honest.
Why?
For my mental health. Because it brought to the surface a bunch of shit that I just never realized. Like nervous habits, just like bad worry. Like I would fixate on things, and I just never knew I was doing something different from other people. I mean, I'm not obsessive compulsive or anything. I just I worry about things and it stresses me out, hence the bald head probably. And I never realized there was an issue until all my irrational fears became rational. Because there's actually a fucking existential crisis happening outside. Like there's an existential threat. We don't know how bad it is, to be completely honest. But it's real. I'm not making it up. I'm not over worrying. I'm being prudent, let's say. I mean, I wear my mask. Sometimes I don't. I'm not being crazy. But it forced me to deal with all that. And I see a lot of my anxiety in my oldest kid, and she's young. I don't know if it must be genetic, man, because I don't think I ever let her see too much of it. I started seeing a therapist in October. I fought it. I was like, well, I'm going to speak to some fucking analyze this shrink guy. It is not at all what I expected it to be. And actually just this week, he's like, it's funny. He's like, I'm going to miss you. I'm like, why, are you dying? Like, what's going on? He's like, no, you're more or less done. Like, I got nothing left to teach you. It was just a series of what's the word I'm looking for? It's skills. It's like, it's not even coaching. You know what it is? It's someone shining a light on a bad habit and saying, example, I'm a smoker, right? I'll use smoking as an example because I understand it. If you want to quit smoking, I mean, there's going to be moments where you really want to fucking smoke, right? So you need to have something to put in its place. And I don't mean replace it with something else. I mean, when that thought process goes through your head, you need to acknowledge the thought process differently. And it sounded like fucking hokum, like snake oil when he started telling me this stuff. But I'll be honest, like between that and behavioral therapy, like Pavlov's dogs, like ring a bell, make their mouths water. Like it makes sense. Like I was a psych major before I went into film. So like I understand the basics of it. And it's worked. Like, I mean, I was having panic attacks daily in the fall. Like I did 3 weeks where I didn't leave the house and we weren't under lockdown yet, just because I was too fucked up. I would take her to daycare and bring her home and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was sick. Like that's what triggered it all. I was like, that's it. I got the Rona. That's it. How I go out, man. And my wife's like, what the fuck? You just sneezed. Like, relax. But it was just like a buildup of bullshit, right? But now I feel good now. I feel like I don't give a shit. I'm sure I'll get anxious one day.
Phil, I feel like I have to charge you for having to listen to that. I think I'm gonna have to invoice you.
I think I'm gonna have to invoice you for that.
It's true. You give us some tips too.
I gave you some tips, my friend.
You're right. We'll split.
That one's free.
Tell me on the business side though, man. I mean, you had something.
There we go, George. You could have saved all that long intro by saying entrepreneur.
Okay.
You know when you were struggling with the intro with Phil?
I mean, it's really not that complicated. I'm self-employed. I'm a freelancer.
There you go. No,
pretty straightforward.
He was going on and on and on. And
on,
on and this and you went into this. You're struggling. Blah blah blah. Money. This 9-5. No,
George loves to tease me because I had a few panic attacks during our other show that we do together. Like they weren't visible on camera, but like I was tripping balls. Like I needed to get the fuck out of there and like not be there. So George is like, bro, you're always sick. You're always sick, bro. Because like it feels like chest pressure, right? When you have an anxiety attack. So I was like, I can't breathe right. He's like, he's always sick, this guy. I don't understand. He's always sick. My in-laws take care of everything. I don't know why he's so stressed.
No, nobody takes
That's exactly right.
Everyone knows.
I meet strangers on the street. And I tell them, I go, George? They're like, no. I'm like, he's not doing shit. He's in the basement making podcasts.
He's just in the basement.
That's why he thinks people struggle for the money, huh? People struggle.
I mean, I fucking struggle. I don't know. George made it seem, yeah.
No. Because what I was saying is that you had something going, and like you had like a steady flow of clientele, and then at some point I was just wondering, how COVID kind of changed everything up.
COVID fucked me, and wait, can we swear on this show? I forgot.
Yeah, you could. Swear.
COVID fucked me in the ass when it comes to my business. Honestly, 2019, 20. So I quit my full-time job because I used to have a full-time job. I was like a stamp guy, like in an office, on your dime, by the way. So don't laugh because it was government. But yeah, so I quit that job. I think it was 6 years ago. So do the math, whenever that was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good with math. I don't math good. And the first 2 years were like, I mean, I made some money. I did okay, and I had always been doing it on the side, so I was like slowly building up. But 2018, 2019 were fucking great. Like, I was like, baby, what you want? You want a house? I'll get you a house. Like, what you want? You want another baby? Let's make another baby. I was like, fucking, it was great. It was great. I mean, as a freelancer, the amount of work I was getting, and I wasn't doing any marketing. It was straight up referrals.
Yeah.
It was killing. I was flying. I was shooting private jets. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Like, even once a month, I was going to Florida. Like, I was going down. A company was bringing me down with all the proper qualifications and papers for the border. And I was shooting private jets. It was cool. Like, I mean, it became boring after like the fourth private jet because like it's like a car. Once you've seen one, you've seen one. It's not like they're mine. I'm just taking pictures and videos of them. But it was still cool. Like, other clients would see that and be like, this guy shoots private jets. He could easily make my hamburgers look sexy. So like the best. I mean, things were just rolling great. And even when COVID first hit, I couldn't go to Florida anymore. So I lost that gig, but I had other stuff going on. People were sending me edits. I was like, ooh, I can pivot in this coronavirus. I can do different things. And then it just all went boom because everybody ran.
Yeah. How did you end up from there to fucking editing Just Us Dad's material?
I mean, I did George a favor, but I'll invoice you now if you want. I mean, you guys can't afford me, just so you know. COVID makes it hard. Honestly, it's clients are scared to do stuff because they don't know where money's going to come from. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, the economy is not doing great, but you're doing fine, right? I was like, I'm part of the economy, right? Like, if nobody can pay me, because I experienced this right before the second wave where I got all this work and everyone was like, yeah, we don't have any money right now. I was like, but we did the work. They're like, yeah, can we have it anyways? Because we need it to generate leads. I mean, for some people, no problem. I did it. Some of the bigger companies that were, I could tell they just didn't want to pay up. They didn't get their videos until they paid. But for like smaller local businesses, like, why would shooting them in the foot is shooting me in the foot. Has my work changed a lot? Yeah. I started a podcast because I was bored, literally because I was bored. And yesterday I'm 15 episodes in. Yesterday was the first time I got a call from an old client who I haven't spoken to in forever. And it was a hot lead because of the podcast, most likely. Like, they called me, they're like, hey, we've been watching your podcast. It's great. We really like it. We talked a bit. And he's like, can you make some videos for us? And I was like, there you go. It's if for a long time I was like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just doing this podcast. Like, well, it's fun, but it doesn't do anything. But it's actually a form of marketing. So I'm generating leads for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, that was not the goal, but it's a nice byproduct. Because
in addition to this, you had to leave your old studio and start investing a shitload of money in a new place.
We're going into everything. Okay, cool.
No, but what I'm saying, everything just seemed to happen. Like,
everything happened, yeah. It really felt that way. I had a co-working space. It was the smartest decision I had ever done in my business, which meant that I had this massive studio that cost me no money because I had all these extra spaces and I was subletting them. It's a co-working space. I met a lot of people from my own industry, so I got to network because of it. And Xenospace was, it was home. And then the building was sold to new landlords who I don't think ever truly wanted us upstairs. They wanted access to the business. It always felt that way because they were not, they weren't nice to us. They weren't mean to us or anything, but they weren't helpful like when we needed stuff. And I remember sitting during the first lockdown in my office, filming one of the first episodes of Fill My Hole, and a drill bit came through the floor and almost went through my shoe. Yeah. That's when I called Pantelis and I was like, we need to move. Like, so that was the final one. Oh, I'm still yelling. Sorry. Sorry. I got another text. So the studio became unusable. We couldn't shoot there anymore. We couldn't do anything there anymore. And we realized it was time. I had a partner in the space. He's my uncle. We sold it to the new landlords and we went on the hunt for a studio. I was studioless, like studio homeless for, I think it was 4 days, where technically I didn't have anywhere. But the studio we built is, I mean, George has seen it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not without its issues. It has some soundproofing issues, but it's pretty awesome. And this all happened, I guess, the end of the first wave, and then in the lull in between. And then by the time the second wave came up, we were fully operational, and then we got shut down because Corona.
Are you seeing anything around at all, or are you pretty much there? Are you seeing anything kind of turning around soon, or like, I mean, you said that you just got a new client and stuff, but do you see any, like, in the near future, like back to normal for you?
Not for a long time. I mean, depending on how, look, for me, it used to be that I would sell people on the idea of making them an awesome video and I'd move on. I learned right before COVID hit that marketing was changing slowly, but changing to more of a, less of a quality. And I don't want to say I'm not saying like you give them bad quality, but less of a big production and more productions, right? I mean, even you guys know that for this podcast, like, you want to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You need to have stuff going out all the time. So clients had started, and the Florida gig was like the first taste of that. And then I did one afterwards, like at the same time, where basically I end up being like, I almost operate like an employee. I'm on contract, obviously, but like I'll show up like X amount of times per week and I'll shoot whatever I can. And I'm just constantly putting stuff together.
Right.
That should have taken, excuse me, 5 years to come to like fruition, like as the new normal. COVID turned that into it overnight. Like, I've been doing this since 2009 is when I started film school, or 2008, I forget. So like I'm coming up on a decade now, right? That I've been doing this and like earning some kind of money from it, because I did have a part-time job before. The idea that a client, like, that I could look at like a job board and see video maker for hire wanted, I mean, that shit didn't exist. When I went to film school, they literally told us, okay, welcome to film school, thank you for the money. 98% of you will not ever make a video in your lives. 2% of you, well, we'll split it. So like 0.01% of you may do what you want to. The rest of you are going to hold cables on set, maybe work on a commercial. I mean, there was no work. When I told my father I was going to film school, he threw a spatula at me.
A spatula?
Like, it was hot. He was making hamburgers. He just tossed it at me. I still remember. And like, I remember talking to him like 2 years ago, and he's like, I can't believe you're making a living. Like, he blew his mind. Not, I'm proud of you. I can't believe you're making a living.
He still doesn't believe it.
I don't believe it sometimes.
Oh man,
it's crazy. But like what you said at the beginning, like, I don't have a 9-to-5. I don't have the stability. I don't know where the money's coming from. I mean, yes, it means I have to hustle more. But I mean, I don't know how people who have a 9-to-5 job and have children, I don't know how they do it. Like, my flexibility is the only reason my children aren't dead in a ditch. If it wasn't for my flexibility, I don't know how we would do it.
Look, it's just another way to adapt, man. Like, I mean, Chris and George, I mean, you know, they have regular jobs, you know.
What do you guys do? I have no idea.
It doesn't matter, bro. Don't ask questions.
Oh, okay. I mean, we're talking in depth about my life.
That's off podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So George's schedule changes quite frequently, but he does a lot of hours. But Chris has a regular job. So, but I think it's just a matter of, you know, getting your shit in order and just organizing yourself. You would have figured it out, man. I don't think it would have been that tragic.
Probably not. Maybe not that.
It's not complicated, man. The daycare holds them until you're able to get them.
Yes, I understand the premise of the daycare. Thank you, George.
No, but I mean, that's how you do it.
No, for me, it's the mornings. It's the mornings that I don't understand. Because, like,
me too.
Maybe it's because we let her, because I was flexible. But I don't know. Like, she's going to elementary school next year. I don't know how I'm gonna get her out in time. Like I can't even imagine it. Our drop off time right now is 8:30. We get there on 9:30.
9:30, like a whole hour late, dude.
9:15. At first they were like, your pickups. I'm like, yeah, I know. They just stopped saying it at some point.
Oh man,
I can't. She loves to sleep. I mean, when she was a baby, it was great.
What time does she go to bed?
8 o'clock.
I think you have a year. You should start though.
Yeah, I know we've started already. Like we're pushing it. Like today, my wife has a CPA course tomorrow, so she needs her out of here early. I go, okay, how early? She's like, 7:30. I'm like, wake up at 7:30. She goes, no, be at school at 7:30. I laughed so hard I hurt myself. It's like, this is not encouraging. You're not encouraging me here. You're not helping.
But are you gonna have the busing? Are you gonna have the busing service though next year?
So I'm in charge because we only have one car. I'm in charge of school pickup and drop off. But my wife decided that we're not gonna have the bus.
Okay.
Yes. Because she's too little. I mean, look, I don't disagree. My daughter is the same age as Chris is.
Mine goes shopping. Mine goes to JPA Barso.
Chris gives her the money. She knows how to do math.
Give me a pack of crepe.
Bring me some Dunhills.
Regular.
But Phil, you know what you're saying is it's strange, but it's not strange because, and I was having this conversation with my wife the other day, and we were comparing how our parents were and how we are, and I think we're talking about high school. And she's like, when she's in high school, I mean, like the first year or so, like, I mean, we're still going to bring her to school. I'm like, what? No, why? Like, she's going to go grab the bus.
She's going to get beaten up.
No, you're going to grab the bus and go to, like, she's like, but Sec 1, they're too little. I'm like, I took the metro when I was in Sec 1.
Yeah,
like,
so did I.
What's the problem,
Isn't that a 7-year premature conversation?
No, but yeah, it just came up like that.
Hold on. George, you were exactly 1 kilometer from your high school.
No, but still, but the high school, it's actually much closer than my high school was to our house.
Okay.
I try not to think that far ahead.
Yeah, it's far, man. 7 years.
All I'm saying is the mentality where, because you're saying that you don't want the kid to go into the bus because she's too little. We went in a bus when we were in kindergarten. I mean, yeah, it felt little compared to.
I don't think I did.
You didn't?
I did.
You didn't
I'm
go
not
to
sure. I know I did the bus from grade 1 to grade 6. Kindergarten, I'm not sure. I don't think I did because we lived very close to the school. I think my dad used to just drop me off.
Right.
But I mean, 5 years old on a bus with kids who go up to the age of 12. I mean, I kind of get it.
I know where you're coming from.
She's also my daughter's very, I mean, she's very little for her age. Like I said, my daughter and Chris' daughter are the same age. And like his daughter is like a foot and a half taller than mine. And she's average size. Like she's not a big kid. She's just, like people, they hear her talking to me sometimes when we're out in public and they're like, oh my goodness, very, very waspy people, obviously, for some reason. Like, she speaks so eloquently. How old is she? I'm like, what? She's going to be 5 soon. They're like, what? They think she's like 2.5. She's wearing a 2T, man. Me and my wife are like, do we get her the 18-month t-shirt or the 2T t-shirt? She's little.
Yeah, that's puny.
I mean, that was hurtful, but yeah.
Like cute bully. Cute puny.
Yeah. She's petite. She's petite. She's a lot though. She's a big attitude. I always tell her, you're really small. Like, shut up. You're gonna get beaten up. Like, you guys don't run your mouth because she's not that big.
Oh,
I treat my kids like freeloading adults. Like that's how I talk to. I mean, the baby's a baby. But that's what they are. I mean, my kid's smart. She's smart enough to like understand. I'm not playing my kid's smarter than other people's kids. I'm just saying she's smart enough to understand like sarcasm, change in the tone of my voice. Like I never did the whole "Who there go baby." Like when she was little, we didn't do that ever. We just spoke to her. I mean, we failed at teaching her Greek completely. She doesn't. I mean, not even a little. She knows like 5 words in Greek, so that should be interesting when she starts Greek school.
She's gonna pick it up, man. I think
she sounds like a mid 1990s Albanian child who just came to Athens. It's bad. It's bad. I'm nervous about it.
What a comparison, bro.
We might have to edit some of this.
There's nothing racist about that. They had an accent.
George, your kids take the bus?
No, we're less than a kilometer from the school.
So you just take him?
Yeah.
But does it
But
fuck up
for
your
the
day?
first year, I had my eldest for his kindergarten. They were renovating, so we had to bring him to the school to take a bus with his whole class to the other school.
I mean, that's a weird situation for the
It was
kids,
weird, but the lunch lady that they did their lunch break with, and the people that are associated to their class were on the bus with them.
Yeah,
Like walked them through it and all that. So we were very comfortable with that. It wasn't your typical pickup or anything like that.
it was like a shuttle. It wasn't really the bus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I had a very bad bus experience all through elementary school. Like my bus driver really disliked me.
Who did you have?
Well, you went to a Greek school?
Yeah,
Did you get a bar in the head?
No, I'm not that old. Remember, I'm younger than you guys. They had changed the laws.
A bar on the head.
No, I had Balasam.
Bala.
Miss the terror from Sri Lanka. We used to call him a wrestler because he had that crazy hair. He hated me. He once physically threw me off the bus. It was moving. And he did it in front of my house. So like people saw him. It was a whole thing. Funny story. Years later, he ended up working for my grandfather, and I used to bring him his paychecks. It was great. It was great. Good guy, actually. I mean, like I was a kid. I was a piece of shit. I was annoying. But the bus was always weird, and I lived so close to the school that they would pick me up first. It's fucking stupid. And I'd stay on the bus the whole hour to do the 3-minute drive. Like I would get picked up first, dropped off last. I lived the closest to the school, except for like one other kid.
But normally the closest to the school gets picked up last.
But I was closest to the outward, like, because I was further out. Like I wasn't on the same block, but I was super close. Like I was just down Van Horn. It wasn't far.
Right.
I used to purposely miss the bus so my dad would take me. Like I would do everything in my power to miss the bus. I'm like, just take me to fucking school, old man. Come on, I didn't eat my cereal. Look, I'm so hungry. Oh, cry.
My father would have beaten the shit out of me, man. What are you talking
Different generations, man.
Exactly,
Different generations.
Yeah.
You were fucking force-fed you with a funnel.
No. We were used to buses. My parents never drove. They still don't drive. We never had a car.
All, eh?
We've never owned a car.
Well, yeah, you guys owned the car, but you were the driver.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The first time we owned a car, I was the driver.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine that. Like,
but Phil, man, he wasn't the only one. We have other friends like Andre.
No, I'm not talking about the car. I'm just talking about like having immigrant parents. Like this whole, it's just such a weird. I never experienced it. Right? I always had a buffer between my grandparents and me, which was my parents, and like my parents would say the type of stuff you guys are saying now. And I was like, all right, doesn't seem that strange, but it seems so foreign at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like I mean, when I used to,
it's a big contrast, man.
Guys, nobody ever hit me ever. No one ever hit me. I mean, no, that's not true. My dad hit me once. I was 14 years old and I deserved it. I did 100%. I look back on it now. It was the best decision.
Hold on. Between you and me, is it the only time you deserved it?
I probably deserved it a lot more, but this time I spoke back badly in public to my mother.
That's how I end up in film school. No, the lack thereof, bro.
Oh, I don't know about that. I was still scared of him. I think violence against children is important if it's implied. Like I never knew if my dad would hit me. He never did, right? But I never knew if he would. He had like I wasn't afraid of the physical consequences. I was afraid of like, what if one day this fucking guy snaps? This mellow. I mean, I don't know about you, George, but like the other two know my dad. Like he's the most mellow dude ever. He's so nondescript. He wouldn't even. He's too average to be like an extra in a movie. He's just like you wouldn't even notice him. And I was like, this guy might kill me one day. Like I just didn't know. I didn't know. And that was enough to keep me in line for most of my life.
The wild card, huh?
It's the wild card. You don't know. It's like the little guy in a samurai movie. What's he going to do?
What happened when you were 14? Did you steal his car or what?
No, he just found out about that now when you said it. I was older. No, I spoke. I said something. I was like, it was that period. You're like 15, 14 years old. You got the ribbed deep V-neck on, the frosted tips. You're a douchebag. No one understands you.
The frosted tips, bro.
Of course. The black like lanyard necklace. You know, I'm just.
Oh, wow.
No,
and you're testing all the shit you do with your friends, with your parents. Is that it?
No, my mom said something. I don't remember. I made like a really inappropriate sex joke. We were in a Friendlies in Massachusetts. It was my mother, my sister, my dad's 3 sisters, me and my father. And my mother said something, and I made like at her expense like a dirty sex joke. And he didn't even flinch. He just slapped me in the back of the head. But I wasn't expecting it, so my face went forward into like we were eating like ice cream sundaes. And it just like shattered like some mess. And he looked at me and he's like, "Go to the car. Go to the car." It's the US, right? Like people are like, oh my word.
Oh, I thought it was go to the car for beating number 2.
No, it was like go to the car, don't say anything. Like he fucked up, you know? But I bet if I tell, like if he watches this, he'll be like, that never happened. Never happened. You made it up. I guarantee it never happened. It fucking happened.
Well, that's not really a beating, Phil. I don't know, man.
I never said a beating. I never said a beating.
Okay. It was just a little he tapped you on the back.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it.
That's not a slap.
It was a fop. It was the upward angle in the back of the head. I never said he beat me. I said he never hit me.
I know guys when their dad was through beating them up, they were all sweaty and tired, exhausted from the beating.
From giving.
Like from giving beatings, they had to sit down, or it's like, get me my pills, get me my pills.
It's like they just finished the hockey shift.
Give me my pills.
Give me my pills. I don't feel well, you know. So this is
that's not all right.
No, I know.
That is not all right.
But it just goes to show you what we've seen in Park X versus your reality, where it's like you got a tap on the head. My father hit me.
I mean, I don't feel like it was quite that way, but okay. I'm pretty sure this conversation was started by, I never got the beats. I had a better life than you guys.
Actually, I didn't get beatings either. I never.
I mean, I'm sure you got a lot of this, like the shaking hand.
I got a few. My mom, like a few things, putales and stuff like that.
Moms don't count.
My
mom used to like stop it, like just hit my shoulder.
I never got a beating. I got Philip. I got the eyeballs. I got these crazy eyeballs, like the stare down, where it's I wish I got a beating. I wish it's like give me the beating. Don't look at me like that. Don't stare at me like that. Just give me the beating.
That kind of stuff I got. I got stuff like that for sure. I mean, that's what I was talking. That's what I was trying to encompass to express to you the
intimidation.
It's intimidation. But like, I mean, I don't know about you guys or if it's allowed anymore, but I do that to my kids. Like sometimes she does something. If I have to repeat myself more than twice, I don't say anything. I just stare at her. And sometimes my wife's like, you got to stop doing that. I go, why? She goes, she's crying on the floor. I go, but I didn't say anything. She goes, you dismembered her with your look. I'm like, well, I can't hit her. I can't yell at her. I can't not yell at her. What do I do?
Nothing.
How do you discipline a child?
How do you
today? You don't. You hope.
You hope,
man.
You just hope.
You pray that you're not okay.
You know how you discipline a child, bro? You do everything on your do not do list. Do that. I mean, do what you're not supposed to.
I don't know. Honestly, guys, some days I feel like a monster. Like my wife will yell at her. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But she doesn't seem very fazed by my wife yelling at her. Like she's like, okay, I'm in trouble. I'm 4.5. I won't remember this tomorrow. But like I'll shout at her once, like on a Monday in February, and like a Tuesday in August, she'll be like, Daddy, I go, what's wrong? You know, she goes, I was just remembering the time you yelled at me. I was like, whoa, which time? What are you talking about? Remember that time that I was climbing and I fell and you said? I was like, that was like 6 months ago. It still hurts. I was like, what the
Oh,
she's so. I mean,
scream more often. She'll forget
she's
that one.
so. I'm impressed. I have to say, like, it'll serve her well in life. She's extremely manipulative.
It'll serve her well in life.
It will. It really will. It will. She can. I mean, Leah, why'd you do that? It's 15 minutes explanation. I was like, I just didn't want you to do it anymore. Yeah, but you know, and she'll just go on about something. And I was like, why am I mad? I don't remember. Like she completely. It's very impressive. I'm very proud. I'm very proud.
How's the little one though? I mean, she's still young, but I mean,
she's starting to walk. So like we're in like free fall mode all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly diving. Like she's like, ooh, glass corner. I'm going for it. So I think she's at like She started like 2 weeks ago, like taking those first steps. She's a little like she's late on it. She walks on her knees though, which is fucking bizarre. She walks around on her knees like fucking Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. And then she falls and she drags herself like him.
Lieutenant Dan doesn't walk on his knees, bro.
Yeah, he does. That's all that's left. His little stumps.
He has no legs.
He never uses them to take steps.
I know, dude.
That's what he means.
Way to ruin put realism in it. It was. I was painting a picture. No, but she's like at 9 steps or something. But she is the opposite of the. I mean, the little one was.
They're like walkers at that age. Like they're like doing their own thing there, and then they hear a noise, and then they just turn around and start following the noise.
Oh, walkers! I thought you meant like a walker, like an old lady. I was like, what?
like fucking,
yeah, the Living
walkers.
Dead, yeah. No, mine's she's like a primate because she's still trying to find her balance. She's like she like lifts her arms and trying to keep her balance, but she's only at like 9 steps.
I think we're all primates, bro.
Yes, like a small chimpanzee, she walks across the floor. So she's. I mean, they're. I know people have told me, and you guys have 2 kids each, so like they're so different from each other. It's hard to believe that the same genetics made them. Because like the older one is against all of my better attempts to like not influence her only with girl stuff, pink princess, whatever. All she wants to do is be dressed up doing ballet. I mean, her dream, her aspirations for her life right now are to open up a ballet school and teach ballet. I'm like, but how did you end up teaching ballet? Were you a ballerina and you did drugs? What happened? And she goes, no, I just want to be a teacher. I was like, all right. The little one is like the opposite because she's not as sensitive. She doesn't seem to give a. She's like a cat. One's a dog, one's a cat. When there's food, she loves me. She kisses me. Da, 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 da. When there's no food, she's doing her own thing. All I need to worry about is that she doesn't die. The other one needed attention constantly. This one needs protection. And she beats up the older one. It's pretty sad to watch because she's almost as big as her already.
What an interesting dynamic.
It's a very interesting dynamic. Yeah, like she punched her in the mouth today while they were bathing. She literally wound up and she just punched her in the face. And she's like, she hit me. I'm like, fuck, I know. I saw it. And you can't yell at a 13-month-old. They don't care. They don't know what's going on. They're like, this is a hand.
What does it do?
Yeah. But yeah, it's like having one was challenging. Having 2, I guess I expected it to be twice as hard. It's like 1,000 times harder. I assume having 3 would be like having a colonoscopy all the time. I can't even imagine.
You definitely don't go to 4.
I mean, I'm not going to 3, so if I go to 4,
we've said this many times on this podcast. All the people,
I've never watched any episodes.
All our friends, or at least all my friends that have more than 3 kids, no, I'll say 4 to 5 kids, borderline suicidal.
You know people who have almost 5 kids? Well,
I mean, 4 or 5, 4 to 5. Yeah, 4, 5, 6. I know somebody that has 6.
That's too many kids, man.
Yeah, that's you're just lost.
No,
you there's so many kids, you lose the meaning of life.
I thought after purpose 3, the vagina just falls off. That was my understanding of it. It comes off with the kid. Well, we made the genius because my wife had I mean, I don't know. You guys have like a dad podcast, so maybe it's relevant. I guess it's relevant. When my wife gave birth to my first, we had a very bad delivery. Like it was touch and go for a while, and it all got very scary very fast. And because I sympathize with everything because but that first time that excitement that you feel as a first time father for Phil. It took so long that he filmed a documentary. Yeah.
Oh, really?
After the 3rd day, I was so worried. I couldn't. I didn't know because you can't really do anything, right? There's no way you can help. Between like my mom barging into the room and asking questions in circles that made no sense, and my mother-in-law trying to exorcise demons from my wife by putting icons all over her.
Oh my God.
To help the doctors. Like this is the chaos that was going on, and my wife was completely immune to all of the pain drugs. Like they were going through her system in under a minute. Like she'd be, the pain is gone, and then screaming at the top of her lungs. So like there's nothing you can do. You're just like, good job. You're like, good job. So in one of her lucid moments, she's like, start filming things to keep yourself busy and to let people know, like post for our families, because people keep calling and it's getting annoying. And that's how that happened. But like George, I completely forgot why I was bringing that up.
You were talking about that experience when you were expecting your first child.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Took so long you were able.
That's why people don't interrupt people.
Yeah, that's what happened. George stepped on my. George interrupted me to say exactly what I was about to say. I'm not gonna let him say it. That's okay. I do it to him all the time on the morning show. You can watch the morning show Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. over at Pantelis Comedy.
What time?
Like,
I don't know. What time do we start?
10.
10, yeah.
Is this live?
Yeah.
Have you never seen the morning show?
No, because people work.
He works.
Just put audio, man. Put a fucking ear pod in.
Guys, adults work.
I mean, George is an adult.
Yeah.
George, what time does your father-in-law work?
I should check it out, man. I like this stuff. You're funny, man. I like it.
We're in the same boat, Phil, bro. You and I. It's like we enjoy our sleep. We wake up whenever we want.
That's not what's happening. What? Yeah, wait, whoa! How are you doing this? Tell me secrets. That's
exactly what you were saying. That you wake up whenever you want. No, isn't that what you?
I never said that. I said my daughter wakes up whenever she wants. That freeloading little human who lives here. Dude, I'm right now. If I was busier, I would be screwed, like with work, because the one thing I never had to deal with during the early months of this, my wife was at home. She was on mat leave. I didn't have to do shit.
Yeah,
it was great. Chris too, right? They're the same age, the kids. Yeah, that makes sense. He's just like, yeah, it was good. I just fucked off all day. It was great. Yeah, it was great. And now I look back on those times with fondness and sadness because I'm daddy daycare now. Like, I take the older one to school. I come home. The little one, I play with her for like 20 minutes so that like the handoff between my wife while I'm gone with the older one. I put her to bed around 10. I work for 2 hours because there's no shoots happening now anyways. It's all other stuff. It's editing and planning. Around lunchtime, she wakes up. I feed her. If I remember to eat, I eat. Then I now have to entertain her and keep her alive for 2 hours because my wife's in like Zoom calls all afternoon. And then around 2:30, she goes back down. I get 30 minutes to like pretend like I'm learning guitar, and then I gotta go pick up the other one. And then it's chaos, and then it's all over again every day. It's the same thing every day. It's Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be with a kid all the time.
Well, wait, can I just say something? Because nobody reacted to it, but I did. And I felt like you insulted 75% of the audience on this podcast.
Me?
What do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean if you remember to eat? What does that mean?
I mean,
eating should be a priority.
I mean, I know you said, some of us work, so you can't listen to podcasts. But like, man, I would never want to be on mat leave. It's too much. It's too much. The male brain was not made to deal with that much time with a child. After a certain point, I was like, kid, what do you want to do? You want to like...
The whole culture will disagree with you, Phil, on that.
I don't give a shit.
I agree with you, but the whole culture will disagree.
I mean, we can do it. I'm not saying we can't do it, but it's inherently harder on us psychologically because women have a chemical connection to the child, right?
More than that. Yeah, chemical, spiritual, everything. Yeah.
Spiritual, I mean, like, look, that whole thing, when you first meet your kid. Oh, that's what I was going to say. That moment when you see your first kid, everyone's like, right then and there. I didn't have that. It took me like 6 days to bond with her. I was like, because I expected to have some kind of overwhelming emotional experience, and I didn't. And I told my dad, he's like, what did you expect? I was like, what did you feel when you held me the first time? He's like, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I'm like, good job. Good job, Dad. He's like, I don't know.
I was like, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't there, but they didn't let us in.
He was actually. He was. Yeah. No, he's like, I don't know. You were cute. I was like, thanks, Dad. But like, I didn't have some kind of overwhelming thing. And she was very small, and like, she wasn't like, she was underweight when she was born. So like, we got to take her to like the NICU and do a bunch of shit. And then they stabbed her with like a needle in the foot to do like a blood sugar test.
Yeah.
And I don't even know this human being, and I'm just sitting there crying. The woman's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "I don't know what's happening right now." I'm like, "Why are you stabbing this poor child?" And it took me a few days to really have that experience. The other one, though, the delivery was like 15. It was like getting a hamburger. It was in and out. It was all scheduled. Seconds. We had it down packed this time. I made a sequel to the movie. It's like 18 seconds long. It's like, we did it. Bye. Her though, when she was born, she was in distress. And like I didn't tell my wife till like I think 2 months ago. Like she wasn't breathing for a little bit.
Who's
like when
this?
she was Billy. The
Oh
younger
yeah.
one. Yeah, like she turned right as they were about to extract her. I don't know what the term is.
Yeah.
Like take her out, and she swallowed a bunch of like amniotic fluid.
Yeah.
So like when they took her out, she was like starting to turn blue, and she wasn't crying. And my wife's like laying there, cut open like a halal butcher shop, arms prostrate out to the side, drugged up. She's like, "How's the baby?" I was like, "She looks good." Like trying to keep my shit together. Her, I bonded with instantly because I was terrified. I thought she was gonna die. Yeah. Like it was they asked me her name and I couldn't say her name. I was so choked up. And all the nurses were like, "Oh my God, Daddy left his baby." I was like, "What the hell did you want me to do?" I thought the kid was gonna die. Like it was a psychological roller coaster for me.
Strange with us, and I remember, and it's funny, man, that we're mentioning this because we were talking about this with my wife just the other day. That whole magical moment and everything. For us, it was a C-section because she wasn't turning around. So us, it was like a scheduled trip, man. We knew 8:00 we're going. We had the taxi, the ride, everything was perfectly timed. We had the baby on schedule, and then we stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And then after, it's like you're so not used to the fact that there's another person now that you need to take care of. I remember at the hospital, I turn around to my wife and I'm like, "You know how I feel? I feel like we've been babysitting a kid for 3 days and we're just expecting that kid's parents, okay, come and get your child now. I want to go home."
Yeah. I remember like after the oldest, like it was like 6 days later or something. I forget exactly how many days, but at some point I walk up to my wife. She was sleeping. I go, "Yo, that kid's not leaving. Like she lives here now." She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Holy shit. Like she's never gonna leave." She's like, "Why, you want her to leave?" I'm like, "I don't want her to leave, but she's here. We got to take care of her now." Because we stayed at the hospital for so long because of everything that happened. It took 4 days to deliver, like a whole day of active labor. Like I thought my wife's head was gonna explode, honestly. And then they kept us because she was underweight and with all the distress and everything that happened for another, I think, 4 or 5 days, right?
What?
So when
you were like a week in the hospital.
Oh yeah. It was bad. Like my dad was bringing me food, clothes. Like we stayed way too long. And I remember I didn't even leave the hospital grounds for like the first 5 days. Like I was always in the hospital. I remember going out and like,
light.
Yeah, basically. So we always had a nurse. Like I remember that first night, she started crying. I didn't my instinct wasn't go pick up the baby. My instinct was, "Nurse, the baby is crying. What do I do?" Because I had no idea. I had no fucking idea.
They don't tell you anything.
They don't tell you shit. And the nurses were being cunty with my wife about breastfeeding. Like she was trying, but it wasn't working. So like, just give her the formula. And it was like this back and forth. Like, "I don't want to give her the breast," and fighting and a lot of tears from the nurses. My wife can be, she can be mean. And we had this
the
crazy.
Nurses were crying.
No, I'm just joking. We had this Iranian nurse. I don't remember her name, but she was there for most of the time, like at night. And she would always come and she goes, "I teach you how to do it. Come here, baby. Come here, Leia." And she would do this like sing-song Farsi accent. Baby was out in 2 seconds. So when we first brought her home, I used to go, "Okay, baby. Okay, Leia." I thought it was something about like I had no idea. Honestly, having kids has been the ultimate. No, it didn't work at all. The only thing that ever worked with the oldest was holding her to let her fall asleep. She the baby though, I just put her down and I say, "Hey, I'll see you later," and she's like, "Ah," and she just goes down. My second child is the universe balancing itself out. That's what it is. It's whatever higher power exists going, "Listen, my bad about we overdid it. Take this one now. This one's gonna be easy. Just keep her off the pole and you'll be fine." Like
keep her off the pole.
That's like
mine's the opposite. Mine's the opposite, Phil.
The little one.
Yeah, it's like the first one was like, okay, it was easy for you. It was a little too
like fucking parenting so easy. What's wrong?
It was too easy for you. Let's give you a little challenge. You guys could take a little bit more. You know?
Except on the sleeping though, you got screwed on the sleeping with your kid.
On the sleeping, yeah. Alex still doesn't sleep.
What do you mean? Alex is not one of your children?
No, but she doesn't sleep because she's always up.
She's worried about the kids.
No, but they wake up. They're both light sleepers, and
really?
They call for it.
The little one has little what are they called? Night terrors. Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Pause. I've never spoken to anyone else whose kid has night terrors.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Oh, yours has it too?
Oh my! She doesn't anymore. Thankfully.
How crazy is it the first time you experienced that?
I was like, "Fucking get a priest on the phone now."
Yeah, you're thinking, "Oh my god!" Yeah, you're thinking, "Oh my god,
this is okay." Yeah. Hold on. First time it ever happened. I hear screaming. I walk in the room. She's flailing like a fish. I was like, "What the fuck is happening here?" I touch her. Yeah. She starts to scream like my hands are made of fire.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden she goes quiet. She sits up, pretend like this is me, and she's staring, going, "Look, I shit my pants. It's a dark room. I don't know what's there."
Yeah, like, Greeks in the villages, that's what they did. I was like, go to the priest right away. Like, they didn't understand the psychology of it.
I thought, I was like, do we need to call like a psychiatrist? Like, what's wrong with her? I was terrified.
I've never experienced.
I hope you never do.
Yeah. It's whatever. Look, we've experienced a few. Like, I'd say maybe 10.
Oh, that's 10. That's not bad.
Yeah, about 10. 10 heavy ones though. I mean, 10
for a month.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. But and she still has nightmares and stuff.
Did you ever go to the 3 hour mark? 3 hours straight?
The longest it ever lasted was about. Well, look, I read that you're not supposed to try and wake them. I decided, fuck that shit. I used to blast her with light because I couldn't. She would hurt herself.
Yeah.
It would work though.
Did it?
It would just like First of all, I would let her get into like the mellow phase of it, which comes a few minutes after. And then we would just like, if she would let us pick her up, because sometimes they don't let you touch them. It's crazy. And I would bring her into our bedroom, and in the change of room, like as we would come into the room, I would blast on the lights, and she'd look at me, she's like, "What? Like, what's happening?" Yeah. She used to have them at daycare, also the other daycare, the one before.
Oh, during her naps.
My daughter has. I mean, all kids do, but that's why I think it has to be nature and not just nurture. Like she has. Like to do what I do as work, I'm very good at visualizing things. It's one of the reasons why like anxiety became a problem for me, because I'm so good at creating things that look real in my mind, right? Like in a structured way. Mm-hmm. And I used to do it as a kid. My dad has told me, and like I would come up with these things, and I'd be terrified of them for days after, because like I had an idea. The newest thing, it started 2 days ago. She comes up to me in tears. She goes, I'm scared. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, what if lava comes? I was like, we're good. Like, we got no lava. And she says to me, yeah, but my brain's telling me that there could be lava. And I know it's not true, but I'm still scared. I was like, yo, that's way too developed for a 4.5-year-old. He's like, I'm going to try and not think about it. I'm like, okay. I comforted her, whatever. I consoled her. The next day she goes, what if a meteorite hits us?
What?
I was like, look. I explained the atmosphere.
I was having the same conversation yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so get this. She told me these things. I mean, it's possible that she's come into contact with like a volcano in a show or whatever.
Yeah.
This morning, so like she's scared of meteorites and lava, right? This is her thing. I console her. She tells me the same thing about meteorites. My brain's trying to trick me. I was like, look, it's just your imagination, you know? This morning, I turned on the fucking news. Meteorite hit in Saskatoon or something. And there's an active volcano going off.
In Italy, yeah.
I'm going to start asking this kid for numbers. Like, isn't that crazy though? That coincidence.
It is.
It's nuts.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, that's what she's scared of now. So she'll wake up at night sometimes, but she doesn't come to me at night. She wants access to me, but she knows that there's no use trying to rouse me. She needs to wake her mother to then wake me, because there's no way that child, like she used to cry and my wife would walk into the room like early in the morning. She's like, do you not hear her? I'm like, what now? Like when I'm asleep, I'm asleep.
That's me, man. That's me so deep.
I sleep for all the nervousness and the worrying. I sleep like a baby.
Well, that's why you sleep like a baby.
Maybe I'm exhausted from worrying.
That's when your brain. Yeah, that's when your brain actually shuts down.
But a lot of people who suffer from anxiety can't sleep. It's like the worst time of the day for them trying to sleep. I've never had that issue. Like if I go down, I'm out. Maybe I'll be up for a bit. I'll watch some TV in bed. But like once I'm out,
I'm good.
Shit out of my way.
I'm good with sleep, guys. That's one thing that I'm good. I can sleep whenever I want, and I can wake up whenever I want. So let's say, guys, it's bedtime. Let's go sleep. Okay, I'll just go sleep. Let's say you want to wake up and I only slept 2 hours. No problem. I'll wake up. Like I can control my sleep. It's a weird thing.
I don't know about 2 hours. I've learned that if I wake accidentally before it's time for me to wake up, the smartest thing I can do is get up. because my natural rhythm woke me. If I go back to sleep, I'm done. Like I could get another 8 hours and I'll be exhausted. Not that I ever get more than 5 hours of sleep ever. I mean, I stay up till like midnight. We watch TV, whatever. We're gonna go to bed early tonight. We're gonna go only 2 more Bryan Cranston Your Honor episodes. We're gonna go to bed early tonight. It's 1 a.m. Okay, let's go to bed.
I didn't like that show, man.
No?
Too many holes, man. Got my nerves.
What? There was 0 holes in that show.
Oh, you're dreaming. Stop.
Which show is this?
I'm going to teach you a term now, George.
Stop.
I'm going to teach you a term.
Stop.
A film term. It's called red herring.
Red herring?
All those things that you think are holes, because I've had this same conversation with someone else about the show.
Yeah.
They're not holes. They're misdirects to take you away from what's coming. Some people hate that. That's fine. I respect
What show
that.
is this? What show is this?
It's Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah. But red herring is not only in film; it's everywhere. It's in speech. It's everywhere.
It's a literary term.
Exactly. Yeah.
He gave us a hint about what he does. I wonder.
This is a new series now.
It's a Showtime miniseries. Very, very good. I enjoyed it. The opening, the cold open of the show, like that first setup, one of the best I've seen in years.
Yeah.
You like it? You like the cinematography?
The cinematography actually wasn't great.
The writing sucks.
I don't know about that.
The characters are really poorly developed. That mob boss is garbage. The whole family's garbage. It's garbage.
I'll give you that. The trophy.
It's garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. He's a mob boss and he has all these hours in the day to work on this stupid little petty fucking task. Come on, man. It's garbage.
It's a show, bro.
I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm pulling myself back.
I watched it.
Not for you. For your subscribers.
Don't watch it. Subscribers, don't watch it.
Don't watch it. All 19 of you.
Don't watch it.
No, but
I by the way, I shared your clip in one of my dad groups on Facebook. I wonder if they're gonna approve it. I'm curious.
You know what I want to do, Phil? Yeah? This is in the future, but I want to write a documentary with you.
You want to write a documentary with me?
Yeah.
About what?
Yeah. Like I'm hearing where your psychology is coming from, and I think we could write something nice together.
I mean, I like to think about things too much. It's fun.
Yeah, I like it. I like how you like to think about things.
I want to tell a story about Chris.
Me?
Yeah.
That can
Can I tell a story about Chris?
Dude, you're entering.
Let's all take turns.
No, these are stories that will never otherwise come up in this show because I'm not part of the Dadversation all the time. Even though I do prefer my tagline, "Tales from the Fatherhood," but that one's free. You can have it.
We'll steal it.
I gave it to you.
All right, good.
So Chris, when I was, how old was I? 22, I want to say. 20. First of all, for people who don't know, Chris and Georgie Chandrich over there, we're in the last year of school as I was entering high school. Like that's the age gap, right? You guys were those cool guys smoking cigarettes and playing guitar.
I never smoked cigarettes, bro.
I just mean, yeah, Chris did. Yeah, Chris.
Say that again. We were the last grade when you were the first grade.
I mean, I could have just said, yeah, but not in regular high school, in the Greek school that we were in on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Aristoteli.
Yeah, represent.
Which is
years later.
Yeah.
So this was the extent of my knowledge of Chris and George. Like, I mean, I know your brother from school, George.
Yeah.
Because we're closer in age. So randomly, you guys have this this Greek soft rock band, which is, I mean, that's how I learned about Greek rock, by the way. Like, that's where I heard it for the first time. I remember walking down Park Avenue. It was one of these festivals, and your lead singer there, your vocalist, the tall man, he was just like belting out fucking Ella. I was like, what the fuck is happening? What is this music? I need more of it, you know?
That was the Flame, the when they were
no, not the Flame.
It wasn't. It was one of the retiree syllable.
No.
Something.
It was street. It was
it was
next to Milos.
Right in front of CKDG.
Yeah,
that's where you guys were.
It was outside. It was a street festival.
I mean, I can close my eyes and I can see you guys.
They were running.
George, 58 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Chris with the long hair. Anyways, so that's how I know you guys, right? Like that's kind of how I know you. And then randomly, I write a play. The first thing I ever wrote, I wrote for that school so I can raise money. It was a play. And so I'm like, I'm just going to ask Chris, who I barely fucking know. I'm like, bro, you want to do all the music for this? Chris is like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Sure. I was like, awesome. So he does it. It's fantastic. We raise money. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves that Chris is there. Cooler people come because Chris is there, right? Then I decide a few years later I'm going to propose to my wife. I haven't spoken to Chris since then, so I call him. I'm like, yo, you know this song? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, can you come to this place in the old port, wait quietly with my buddy in a bush, and when I walk by, serenade my wife so I can fucking propose to her?
Yeah.
You remember this?
Of course I remember this, man. And it was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it for Philip. I'll do it, man.
And I was like, all right.
No, wait, Philip. Yeah. Anybody else, it would have been like, what? For you, it was just like, I'll fucking do it, man. I'll do it.
I'll tell you what my dad once told me. My real skill in life is getting people to do things for me. It's why I've been able to make like 5 0-budget indies that had like 40 people crew. Nobody got paid. Like I'm just people believe in me inherently. When I tell them we can do it, they're like, fuck yeah, we can do it. And I'll never forget my best man who was with you. He was wearing like the shortest shorts for no reason. Do you remember this? He had come back from a jog. I was like, what are you wearing? He's like, what? Did I need to dress up? I'm like, well, no, you could have worn fucking, I can see your testicles. Like, he's like, bro, it's fine. I got a little exercise in today.
Keep the mouse in the house, bro.
Nah, the mouse was out. I almost said the mouse was out. Yeah, so that's my Chris story. And I'll never forget my wife's face. She's like, oh, it's fucking Chris. It's fucking Chris. He's playing guitar here randomly in this beautiful place on this lovely day. What are you doing here, Chris? He goes, I'm just playing one of my favorite jams. And she starts playing it. And she's like, oh my God, that's my favorite song. And he's like, well, boom, ring, babies. That's
it's fucking good. It was good. I remember that.
Scene.
Bravo, man.
Yeah, that's my Chris story.
Oh, man. So I'm kind of like, hey, Philip, don't I deserve like an Horafi for that?
I mean, I will
like
offer you
something. No,
look, I have 2 daughters and you have a son.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk.
We could sit that way. Yeah.
I just think it's. I also have no land to give you, but I have great, brand new, unworn.
Bro, 2 for 1. You're selling your daughter short, bro.
Was the
not both?
Phil, the play was the play with the one that I did Karadi in.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one, eh? What was it called?
Sons of Deucalion.
Man, I remember that was. What year was that?
That was I had just met Anna at that time, so it was probably 2009, 10.
2009. Okay.
Yeah.
No, before that, no.
I remember.
I only met Anna in the summer of like 09 or 08. I forget now.
I remember the event. I remember the play. I remember being there. But
I remember the music was people freaked because no one in the community ever heard that type of music. It was like Greek reggae,
it was good
mixed with you. It was great. And actually, it's in.
You know what? You know when did George send you the songs that I picked, the Locomondo?
He did. Yeah, he did.
You know that the first time. That's why I said it, because the first time I heard it was through you.
Yeah, that's a great song though. It's a great cover.
Yeah, awesome.
Anytime I hear Locomondo, I get extremely nostalgic.
Really?
Like I think of my college. Those like the soundtrack to my college years, like in a basement filled with smoke, playing Pro Evolution Soccer until 5 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, but what I was gonna say is that's why I think it's hilarious. I tried to explain it to my daughter because the other day she saw me cutting your videos, right? And she's like, "What are you working on?" And I was like, this thing. I didn't know how to explain it to her. She's like, "Oh my God, I know her." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's your friend." Like she was like, "Yo, my friend's in a video. I know her." She goes, "I think she told me about this." I was like, "What?" Kids, they just go off and they talk about stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe.
Well, she's happy though. Yeah. Sorry.
So I asked her, I go, are you guys friends? She's like, we're such good friends. I love her so much. I was like, okay, that's nice. Like, they're friends. That's cool. Like that they're friends. And I was like, her dad was there when he was playing guitar when I asked mommy to marry me. She's like, whatever. And she just walked away. I was like, I mean, that was a great twist of fate. You're not interested at all. Disappointing. Yeah, that's what kids are. They just disappoint you, man.
The little one, she saw the video. She's like, when's the next one? When are we doing the next one?
Oh, she's ready, eh?
She's ready for the next one. It's like, yeah, okay, when is the next one? Okay, I like this.
When George was asking me to do this, because you guys do it at night, I can't, because of the curfew, I don't have access to my studio. I try not to bring the camera home because she goes nuts. She I have videos from before I called you guys. She's sitting here going, "Hi, my name is," and just like going. I'm like, what are you even saying? So I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, she goes nuts. She wants to make videos with me. Like I took her to the studio the other day for the first time in a long time. And we walk in and she goes, because she hasn't been since the construction was happening because of COVID. She looks around, she goes, "It's different." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I like what you've done with the place." I was like, "Excuse me?" She goes, Yeah, you should move your refrigerator though, so that I can do my videos on this wall. I'm like, what videos are you doing? I'm gonna do videos. I'm gonna have a vlog. It's like, who taught you these dirty words? Like, what are you talking about? You're not gonna whore yourself out on the internet like your father. No.
No, but it's crazy. It's crazy because we've spoken about this on other episodes of how the reality that they see themselves in, like in 10, 15 years from now, is just night and day from anything that you could have imagined.
Not really for me.
Eh?
Not really for me.
Well,
I mean, I deviated, so like.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, like Chris's son now, he's like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, and I want to do, like all these kids now are into this new, like technology stuff, and they want to do what they see.
Question.
Yeah.
Are you okay with this, Chris? I mean, I don't feel like you would stop him if you weren't, but like, are you okay with that as a career aspiration?
Look, it's a weird one. I think about it a lot.
Because if you're not, send him to work with me for 5 days. He'll never want to do it again. It's not easy. It's a grind.
Look, and you know what? If that's the case, I want him to figure out on his own, all by himself.
I'm not saying I'm gonna do anything to make it worse. I'm just let him see it.
No, what I'm saying is like, I'm not at the point where I want to discourage him.
How old is he?
So he's 11. So I don't want to discourage him, but I want him to put the work in. So I tell him, look, I'll support you, but come up with something, figure it out, give me a plan, put a little outline. What do you want to do with it? What do you want to reach? You know what? You want to make people laugh? What do you want to do?
Okay, Dad, so executive summary conclusion, I want to get access to them bitches.
Why not? As long as he thinks about it. As long as he has a plan, you know what I mean?
He's going to work for it. It's fine.
And the idea, you know what it was, Phil? It was like, let me challenge him a little bit. And the idea I wasn't looking for good answers. I was looking, is it going to give up at the challenge? Right? Is it going to be like, this is too many questions? No, he didn't. Look, I'm not going to discourage him.
No, I don't think you should.
He still has the idea for the video game.
It's still a hobby, man.
Well, it's a hobby. Yeah, he can look. He's looking into it. He's like, what
video games?
Yeah, he wants
to be a Twitch streamer.
He's into one video game.
Oh yeah, which one?
Fortnite. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the age. That's what they do.
I mean, my nephew is 10 or 11 also. And he went from being this fun kid that I would see at like parties and we'd play soccer to was like, where's John? Like he's in the basement. I go down, it's like dark, and he's like, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
We want to play, so I played with him. Have you ever played Fortnite?
No.
I watch it played and I can't.
Have you ever tried? It's terrible.
I can't do it.
I mean, Call of Duty, I understand. You're
it's slow. Yeah. Fortnite.
This is just like you're building fucking shit and you're running up. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I told him, I was like, this is not GoldenEye, that's for sure.
GoldenEye.
But you see that's the problem I have with that's what happened. He was never into video games that much. So let's say his time was 90% soccer. Right, 90% of the free time was soccer.
But he was too young,
and 10% was video games. And now that kind of inversed because there's no soccer, like right? That? Video games never.
No, I mean I had video game consoles, but I never went through like a heavy. In college I played a lot of video games, but like that's because I was skipping school. I had free time. Yeah, I didn't end up at film school by accident. Like I got thrown out of every English college in the city. I don't know, like I'm not at that age where I need to worry about that kind of stuff yet. And I mean, like video games, I don't know, my daughter likes video games, like we play Sneaky Sasquatch, but like that's just fun.
Look, the video game is just like anything else, man. It's like if it consumes you and you think about it all the time, and once it's taken away from you, you get aggressive, then you worry about it. But it's like
if you get aggressive,
right? If you get aggressive, but it's hard. It's hard. You don't have an answer for it.
You want something crazy? No. I'm going to take 2 conversations we had, and I'm going to merge them into a story from my childhood that further solidifies that my dad just doesn't care. I was obsessed with my Nintendo, not my Super Nintendo, my NES, the first console, Super Mario 3. Original. It was like all I thought about for 2 weeks after Christmas in 1991 or whenever it was. Fucking, my eyes were going to bleed, right? My dad tells me that's enough. Coincidentally, I never had sleep terrors, but I did sleepwalk a lot as a child.
Okay.
So my dad took away the Nintendo. My plan was to, after he fell asleep, go and play Nintendo. I mean, it wasn't a master plan. I was like 6 or 5, whatever. But I didn't because I fell asleep. What I found out the next morning when I tried to turn on my Nintendo and it didn't work was that I had begun a series of sleepwalking events that night while my parents were trying to watch TV in the living room. And at some point, I walked into the living room, asleep, leaned over, flipped open the Nintendo, and pissed in it.
No.
I pissed in the Nintendo. Then I closed the lid and I pressed reset and I went back to bed thinking I had gone to the bathroom. And I asked my dad, I go, why didn't you stop me? He's like, how do you even stop that? And that is possibly the greatest story from my childhood. I pissed in my Nintendo. Yeah.
Oh.
We blow dried it. It worked eventually.
I can just imagine your dad telling your mom, shh, leave him.
Yeah, leave him.
They were like, what? Well, he's peeing in the Nintendo. It's over. That's done. Okay.
Before they could even decide about doing something, you were already peeing in the Nintendo.
Yeah, it was too late. But it's crazy.
I think that creeps me out the most. I don't know what I would do if anyone around me would be sleepwalking. That fucks me up.
My wife does it occasionally.
Yeah, Chris has some good experiences, but it would freak.
Why, Chris sleepwalks? You sleepwalk?
No, my wife.
Mine too.
A lot.
They must have given it to the kids. That's how it works, I think.
Man, you're saying a lot of stuff. Phil, I'm seeing a lot of similarities. It's a little freaky.
They were at the same OBGYN because I remember seeing her there. Around the same time we found out. Maybe he did something.
The doctor's fault.
Maybe. George.
Yeah.
Bottom George. Sadrizo.
Yeah.
I think I still have your Nintendo, man.
I know that. And I asked you last time. You have my stuff in your basement downstairs, and I want it.
I have to go find that.
I never lend anything to Chris.
That basement.
I never had.
I have drum sets in there.
People would come with their video game console to play.
Yeah, because remember at some point in college, I think we went through this run where we would stay up all night. We would just show up at your house. I think I had brought my Nintendo and my Nintendo 64.
I remember them.
You guys still have an operational one?
It's at Chris's house, guaranteed. And I had a whole box full of games.
I have to find it, man.
What?
I have to find it and sell it.
No, don't sell it.
I know exactly where it is. It's in that little closet right next to the TV there, like right at the
under the staircase.
Yeah.
I've never been in that basement, so I can't. I guess I had to be there.
I still have it. Anyways, look, I'll look for it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So don't lend stuff to Chris, Roger.
Yeah, or amps. Don't let him an amp.
No.
No.
No, because don't say it.
Well, now you gotta say it.
Oh, fair.
No. When did he give it, guys? This was Baluzaki. Baluzaki gave me an amp, or lent me an amp, or came to jam with the amp and left it there. It doesn't matter. After 2 years, that amplifier became mine, and I think I gave it to somebody. I think I gave it to somebody.
He took ownership and transferred ownership.
Yeah, I gifted it. Like it's okay.
That's
okay.
Like,
you can keep it.
That's like the laws of the sea, right? Like salvage.
Salvage law, I don't
what is that law? What is that?
It's finders keepers, basically. If something is left, you salvage it. It's yours.
Yeah. No, this one, it's like I took it. Look, it was a good deed. The guy, he had a good heart. George, thank you. Baluzaki, and look, I had to return it. So I instead of returning it to him, I think I gave it somewhere else where they could pretty much appreciate it.
Lost? It's gone?
No, it's in good hands. I just don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. I know someone has it.
Okay, that reminds me. I need to call. I had my uncle's guitar repaired. George, all the stuff he told me to get done, I took it. I have Chris doesn't know, or George, the other George.
By the way, Chris, Phil thinks I'm an expert.
Phil thinks like.
Yeah, he calls
me. I do not think he's an expert.
He calls me for musical tips, and he's like, "How do you?" I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Look, I'm 34 years old. I've never played guitar. I decided during COVID to learn. Right. So my uncle who passed away. I inherited his guitar basically, and it's a nice guitar. He bought it in the 80s, like 81. It's a Fender, and what happened?
What the hell just happened?
Guys, the amp is right here. I have the amp. If the amp is right there, it's under the thing. I thought, yeah.
Is it a crate? Because I'm looking for my amp too.
I don't have your crate, no.
Oh, okay.
You have my amp.
Go ahead, Phil.
But I have somebody's bass.
It's not mine.
Somebody's.
Somebody.
Wow.
But Phil, yeah, man. Look, so you're learning how to play guitar.
I mean, I'm learning. Like, honestly, you guys will laugh. Hold on.
Yeah, play us a song, man.
No, don't play.
The kids are sleeping.
This is where I'm at.
Yes.
Oh, you're
like
there.
That's where I'm at. Like I can play like
you're at the point where if you don't go through that stage, you're never gonna play ever again.
Basically, yeah. And it's not like I've tried many times and stopped. I've never tried.
Yeah.
So I got a guitar. My uncle loved it, so it's sentimental too. But it was like I restrung it, and it started making these crazy noises. So I was like, who do I call? My dad plays a little bit of guitar. Like he didn't fully get through this stage. But he learned a few songs basically, and he has a guitar at home.
You couldn't call the guy who helped you propose.
I don't have your number, so I called George.
Yeah.
I mean, I see George regularly. It seemed like an easier phone call. And George is like, yeah, bro, it's
the next best.
It's warped and the frets are worn, and he scared me. So I went to Diplomat on Beaubien, and they're like,
that's where I got my first guitar.
Oh, is it? Really fun place.
Yeah.
That's where I got this one. I bought this guitar from there.
Yeah.
Like, because I figured the only way I'll learn this is if I have easy access. So I'm repairing that one, like a bunch of stuff on it. That's gonna stay at the office, like more of a it was my uncle's, so I want to put it on the wall. But like I'm stuck at home, so I don't have a guitar. So I was like, fuck, I'll just buy another one. And then I realized that this is like drugs, like because when I left for that one, I stopped and I was like, what is that one? He's like, oh, and he explained it to me. I was like, that's matte black and smaller and nice and. It's the Malibu series by Fender. They have electric guitar necks, and they're slightly smaller than like a full-size guitar. There's like solid walnut. I was like, I want to put this on the wall. I don't even want to play it. And I'm like, Anna, what's my guitar budget? She's like, come home now. Like, just to give you an idea, my work is very expensive. Like on my desk in front of me, I have like, there's like $9,000 right here.
Yeah.
I already have a very expensive hobby job. I can't start buying. I mean, it was my hobby. It became my job, right? And for anyone who cares, Sony just released the fucking camera of cameras today. I
saw it.
It's all I can think about it all day. I need to buy that camera, the FX3. George, you don't need it because you don't even know how to use it, so don't buy it.
and it's $4,000. So
I mean, it's a steal at $4,000.
Are you serious?
Oh, wow.
It is a steal. Similar cameras cost 10.
Well, George has to worry about renovation. So.
Yeah, when are you moving?
I've never seen somebody get so hard about a camera.
Well, it's the same
you should
thing,
see me. You should come to the studio. You should come to the studio and watch.
I should.
And take a tour of my John Wick gear room that I built.
I'm coming because we're writing a documentary.
Right,
Chris, it's the same thing. Like somebody walking into your house and wondering why the hell do you have a whole wall full of guitars? You know
how many guitars do you have?
There's
that's too many. I know.
12 hanging.
Wow.
There's about 3 in the studio, and there's 1 in Toronto, I think. So
1 in Toronto?
and 3 basses, about 17 or 18, something like that.
4 if you count the one you don't know.
How many don't belong to you?
Yeah,
1.
That's not bad. That's good. That's pretty good.
Wait. It doesn't belong to me. I don't know who gave it to me. It's mine now.
It's yours now. Yeah. I have a few lenses like that. I have no idea where they came from.
But that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't know where they came from, but they're there now.
They're yours. They're yours now.
No one's ever claimed them, so they belong to me. They're not very good lenses.
No, but Phil, it does get obsessive. Like I remember finishing high school and taking the metro with Chris and just hanging out the rest of the day at Ital Melody. Like he would try out the guitars and I would just watch him because I suck. So I'm like, all right, Chris.
I never understood that, George. How do you suck so bad? You were in all their shows, the band.
Yeah, because I do rhythm, so it's like the easy, the easy part. Yeah.
Oh fuck, bro! Even I can do the rhythm parts.
Yeah, there you go. So no, all of
let me see. Hold on. A-M and then G.
Yeah. A-M. Yeah.
I'm doing it on purpose, dude. Relax. Before I started, by the way, I found this like a great beginner's intro to musical theory. I was like, let me understand what the fuck I'm reading first, and I'm glad I did. like, because otherwise I would have given up already. Because at least not, like, I'm at the level where if I'm trying to learn a song that I know, like I'm doing a lot of the stuff you guys used to play, like Pixlax and whatever, that kind of stuff, because I like the intros.
It's a good place to start too, though.
I think so too. Yeah. But what the fuck do I know, right? So what happened is, like, I've been following this guy. His name is Damianos on YouTube. He's the highest quality Greek guitar tutorials on YouTube that I've ever found. Like,
well, there's like 3 of them, no?
I mean, there's a lot of like shot on a potato with a lens. And they're like sol maggiore bam bam figa. And you're like, what? But this guy, he makes a living as a guitar teacher in Athens, and he posts the videos, and he likes a lot of the same music, so it was useful. So I was learning, what song was it? The intro to Palio Palto, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I learned the first 3, not sets. What are they called? Like
chords.
I mean, no, they're not chords, because it's like you're playing the last string basically only, right? It's just the entries, that melodic and the dun 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 dun. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this guy gets hacked. His YouTube page goes down. Now I'm like, what the fuck? What comes next? It's a song unfinished. I can't find it anywhere because he had like simplified it. So where I'm at, to give you the example, the point I'm trying to make is, today for the first time, I was able to instinctively figure out what comes next.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to understand the notes. That's where
bravo. It's good. It's good.
Well,
good luck with that.
I'll ever be it keeps me busy, man. Like, I'm basically on dad leave now. That's what I'm doing. I'm home a lot with the kid.
You know, it's crazy that 3 weeks ago, somebody called me, an old friend from Socrate called me to give them guitar lessons.
How old is he?
My age.
Okay. I mean,
like
a lot of people,
no, but I'm just saying, it's like, you know,
a lot of people, guitar makers and guitar shops are making a killing in quarantine. But the thing is, I don't want to be
animal shops.
Are they? Yeah, for like lonely people.
Man.
Well, the COVID helped with the guitars, because actually pre-COVID they were going down because people would rather do electronic stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's interesting, and I can make rhythms and beats in like Logic because I do it for videos sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I already have. I mean, it's been years that I've been doing this, right? So like, I have the ability to like understand rhythm and melody, because editing is like music, right? Video editing. I just don't know any of the terminology or the notes. Like, I can't read music. So I was like, I think I can do this. We'll find out, I guess, to be continued.
Yeah, you can.
I hope I can. I want to just be able to like sit down. All I really want from this experience is that I can come home when I'm tired, sit down and play the blues. I just want to play the blues. That's all I want to play. It's the only thing I can play right now. Like, simple, like, you know, like a Bo Diddley beat. It's the only thing I can play. I just sit here and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing I'm in the Louisiana swamps, bro. It's hard out here.
Yeah.
It's great. That's all I do.
Actually,
I play George Thorogood.
Yeah. That's what I do.
I'm gonna get a slide next week.
Oh yes.
You need a harmonica.
Yeah, I have a harmonica actually.
What were you saying?
I miss jamming, guys. I miss it.
Well, we started. We were planning.
We did one jam.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Cry about it.
Yeah, we're not gonna reveal everything, but we had started, and
show us your tits, George.
How random is that?
He said he's not going to reveal everything.
We're not going to reveal why we're jamming and everything. But anyways, the whole point is that we do.
Ooh, suspense.
No, but it's fun. You understand.
We're going to help. Yeah, it's to help somebody propose. That's what we're doing.
I'm a gummist, not a polygamist, so I'm done.
No, but after so many years that like, I mean, at some point it was just Chris that had continued, right? Nobody else was doing music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
Johnny too.
Oh yeah, and Johnny, yeah. But
we did 2 bands with Johnny after that.
Yeah,
3 bands.
So
I've seen you everywhere playing music. Like, literally, if there's Greek music playing, Chris is there.
I even saw me in one of your videos when you did the festival.
The film festival, yeah.
The film festival.
Yeah, honestly.
There's a nice shot of me playing the bass.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That is one of my best, like, random projects. Like,
amazing.
They're like, can you make us a video? I'm like, oh God, it's dark. There's nothing to do here. But like, I had an idea when I got there. I was like, I'm fucking running with it.
Very well done.
Plus, you inspired me.
The shots with the glasses, the stuff, when they were prepping.
Oh yeah, the champagne.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, you did nice shots.
That thing has fucking. I mean, I've done some really cool stuff that have like no views. That thing has thousands of views. It's the weirdest videos that take off. Like, well, we're like the podcast episode I did last week. I looked earlier. It's like at 7,500 views on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because it's about COVID and it's a doctor who's giving information.
Right.
And then like the episode about Bigfoot that I did. Yeah. I mean, I have a filler episode. My guest canceled, so I was like, okay, on the fly. Bigfoot, is he real? I don't know. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys are. Maybe you're too old because you're older than me. Do you remember?
Maybe we're too old
to remember this. Like maybe what I'm about to tell you. By the time I was doing this, you guys were like dating already. Saturday morning cartoons in the early '90s. Do you remember there was a Super Mario Brothers cartoon, not the weird live action shit? Do you remember how it was like you'd be watching Super Mario one Saturday and then it continues the next Saturday? All of a sudden you get fucking Zelda. Do you guys remember this?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, at least one of you. So that's kind of what my podcast is. You never know if you're going to get just me. I might have a guest, I might not. It's all up in the air.
You never know when you get Zelda.
Yeah, every so often it's just Zelda.
Yeah, no, I'll check it out.
It was Mario and Luigi in human form.
No, not that one. Oh no, you're right. You're absolutely right. They
would intro the show, and then it would go to a cartoon.
Yeah, and then sometimes you just get Zelda.
It was that wrestler with the long curly hair.
Oh yeah.
He used to have elastics coming out of his skin. What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. I was never into wrestling.
Lou something.
Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk.
No, that's Lou Ferrigno. It was Lou something. It was a wrestler. Anyway, I forget his name.
I know who you're talking about though. Yeah, with the Jerry curl. Yeah. The VO5 hot oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
good
but
times.
See, but for us, I mean, we hadn't. So yeah, just to go back to what we're saying. I mean, we hadn't seen each other in forever, and then we didn't think anybody was even going to agree. Remember, you guys, where I'm like, oh no, he's not gonna come. Oh, the other guy, nah, probably not. I'm like, guys.
What are you talking about now? I lost you.
The jam.
Music.
Oh,
He's back to the music.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but luckily everybody was on board, and it sucks, bro. Like I think we like George said, we had one jam, and we're like, yeah, let's go, and then it's like everything closed down. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it's been for a lot of people, though. Like you get back into something. I mean, I wish I could jam. I mean, I can't jam. I don't know how yet, but like I'd be happy to sit in on a jam.
Yeah.
A lot of people they're doing. Guitar. They're doing the online thing, man, with, what is it? Jam, Kazam Jam.
Are you rapping right now? What's happening?
No. There's like a website. You plug into the website.
Hold your hands up.
You have an audio interface.
Yeah.
What just happened? That was so cool.
Not bad.
So George's the drummer, right?
Yeah.
Was he the ex-jazz drummer?
Yeah.
Did you have a lot more hair? Why don't I recognize you at all? It's so crazy.
And it depends which era. My hair has gone through many eras.
No, ex-jazz, it was short.
Ex-jazz, it was short. And
Heaven's Misery.
Sideburns still here.
Sideburns still there. That's a big commitment, man. Good for you.
I had a goatee. I always had a goatee.
I never had a goatee
I had a goatee for like 17 years straight or something.
I had a goatee in grade 5.
That was a great cut. I had a goatee in grade 5. Husband. Like the end of a rap video. What time is it? Yeah, it's fucked up. I know. I never got to do the music thing. One of my good friends is like a very skilled guitar player. Like he did all the music for my first 2 movies, actually, all the guitar. And I mean, I just never see him now. Because, like, I mean, I don't know if you guys experienced this. Like, once I had kids, a lot of my single guy friends, I mean, I think they thought I died. It's like, he must be dead now.
He died socially.
They either disappeared, like, instantly and, like, call every so often to check in, or they're always like, hey, man, how you doing? Oh, okay, I'm going to let you go. Go be a dad. Like, they feel like they're interrupting something. I'm like, she's not doing anything groundbreaking. She's just farting. Like, I can talk. Yeah, it's weird. I don't really have many friends with kids. Except for one of my friends has kids, but that's it. I'm trying to think. No, it's just the one.
Yeah. How many movies do you have?
Depends where you draw the line to what's considered a movie.
Well, movie, short film, whatever.
I mean, they're all mostly short. I've done I did 3 shorts that were like 4 festivals that did runs that I sent out, and I mean, they did okay. One of them is actually really long. It's like 40 minutes long. Oopsie. Like I was trying to make a short. It wasn't long enough to be a feature, so it couldn't fit into any category. So it was like, what the fuck is a 42-minute short? I'm like, I can get it down to 39. They're like, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
But they did okay. I mean, like I submitted them to the catalog at Cannes and they got accepted. 2 of them got purchased, like the rights to air them on like some small channels in Europe. One of them in Turkey, I had like a 1-month deal. I made like 500 lira, or like whatever, like garbage, no money. Like they don't. The first one cost $500 to make. The second one cost $4,000 to make. The third one, which was like the biggest one, cost like 22. I forget how much it cost. It cost a lot of money. We never recouped any money, but they did well in festivals. And
which one was that?
The zombie movie I made.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
You made a zombie movie.
I mean, I had like a pattern. During the financial crisis in Greece in 2008, I made a film about like perception and how like the media was making Greeks seem lazy to justify what was happening. And then the Golden Dawn came to power in the crisis. I mean, no one's surprised there. Like it's just like before the war, right? Like
power, it's just that they
gained some power.
They rose in support, let's say. Yeah.
And then I found out that they had a local chapter and I was like mind blown by it. I was like, what? How is that possible? So I made that movie about the Golden Dawn. So everybody's like, okay, time for the third installment of this like Greek social trilogy. So I made a zombie movie. I mean, it's all the same actors. Technically, it's a trilogy. It's like a spiritual successor. It's like first there was lies, then there was Nazis, then the zombies came. Like it all makes sense up here. No, the zombie movie was we were trying to pitch Prime and Netflix, and it just didn't turn out the way we wanted. It's good, it's solid, like it's fine. You won't be like ugh watching it. You won't cringe, and the production value is like through the roof. I had really talented crew with me, but it's missing something. It was something missing, and I've done some doc work. I did a punk rock documentary where I was like, I've done a bunch of stuff where I wasn't the director, where I was the director of photography. Like, if you want to know how many, I have no idea. I mean, I've done a ton.
Okay. So with like 25, 30 grand, you could put something good together.
If no one gets paid. Yeah, I'm not even joking. If no one gets paid, 25, 30 grand will get you the equipment and the food to keep them from revolting and make something visually okay.
Oh, wow.
$25,000 is nothing. It's nothing for a movie. It's an indie starts at like 200K. You're starting and you're still, most people aren't getting paid and you're only getting paid from the tax credits. No, that's how directors get paid.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's surprising.
That's why I do commercial work, because I have kids and they're hungry. Yeah.
But do you miss it? Do you ever think, fuck,
every fucking day?
Yeah.
Every fucking day. Sometimes I'm on set and I'm getting paid good money to do a pretty cool commercial project, and I look around and part of me is like, fuck this place. I should have been making movies. I mean, I shouldn't complain because it's still awesome. It really is. Yeah. But like, I've been working. I feel like one of those guys who's always like, I'm working on my book. Like, I've been working on a documentary for like 5 fucking years. Like, I haven't shot a single frame of video. Just because I can't figure out. I just cut myself with the knife I've been playing with. I just can't figure out how to make it make sense more. Like, I'm still trying to flesh out the story, but it's become like a joke. Like, I'm never gonna do. It's gonna be on my tombstone. He almost made that documentary.
Movies always interested me, man. Directing, film, the creative process. I always like that. And you know what? Just as dads, we're getting into this a little bit more now with the videos, and it's just a blast. I love it.
Yeah, George told me all the things you think you're going to be able to do solo, the 3 of you, and I laughed so hard.
Let me dream. I'm a dreamer, baby.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've lost. Because I do this for a living now, I've lost that ability to not look at something and be like, that's a great idea. I look at it, I'm like, it's going to need this is going to cost this much money. We probably can't do it. Like, even Pantelis gets mad. He writes a script. I'm like, where are we getting a budget to shoot an epic mobster pick in ancient Greece? Like, where's this happening? Like, what's happening here? Who's paying for this? He's like,
you can always raise capital, man. You can raise money for this. There's angel investors right now that will give you their own money. You don't even have to go through a fund.
No one's gonna invest in an indie film during COVID because there are no returns unless you find a cinephile who just wants to put money in. Which I've experienced. I've had.
Well, actually, the investors today that are investing their money, they're not investing for COVID. They're investing for after. Because like everything's gonna go crazy after, right? The market is gonna go insane.
Another clue he's dropped to what he does for a living. Interesting.
No, I'm just saying a lot of people are gonna open up restaurants.
You're absolutely right.
A lot of people are gonna open up bars, even if the bar lasts a year, doesn't matter. Let me capitalize for 1 year and close it.
I wonder when that year's gonna come though.
That's a different story.
I mean, year one. We should reset. You know what? Fuck it. Let's reset. One. We'll call it AC after COVID. Or wait, are we doing AC already?
But it's a lot of fun.
You're gonna crush Christianity's ego.
But I want to do movies. I want to do documentaries. I want to write. I want to do scripts. I want to do all sorts of stuff.
One of your I don't know if you guys know him. The guy I asked you about, George. His kid's at the daycare too. What's his name?
Pano.
Remember his name? No, Jerry.
Mikey.
Gerasimo.
Yeah.
Mikey Dipa.
Yeah.
Yeah, he approached me about something pretty interesting, and I just realized as I said that I never called him back. That was like 4 weeks ago.
That's nice.
I should call him back.
Now you have
a daycare drop off. No, I'm gonna call him. I completely forgot. I know we're moving. Like we're signing on the end of the week. We sold our condo because like we're out of space, and like that's all we've been doing. It's like Centris all the time. It fucking sucks. Like I don't know where the hell we're gonna end up. So like I've been kind of like hyper focused on that and whatever work I can get done. But yeah, it's time for a house. Like you guys are real dads. I have no home. I have a condo.
I mean neither. I live in an apartment.
Yeah, it's not the same though.
But you have square footage.
Different. You have
I have square footage. Yeah, I do.
You have basement?
No basement.
You told me everything's in the basement.
In his mom's house.
Yeah, my mom's. I live with my parents. I told you.
That's kind of it's genius, really, is what it is.
Like I live with my parents without living with my parents. It's genius. Trust me.
I mean,
like I'm in the same building.
My parents are in a duplex, but my grandparents are alive and well. So there's a vacancy issue, right? So it's prime. It's prime location. I have my eye on it. Living
and you know what? Duplex. And you know what? Because we're so close, it's almost like we're far apart.
Like they won't get in your business.
That's right.
But
because we're so close. There you go. You got
it. Dude, I know. I grew up with my grandparents downstairs.
Yeah. It's
my mom's parents.
Yeah. It's genius. It's great for the kids. It's an amazing setup. I wish my kids do the same. Like it's going to be the whole house, just family.
Yeah,
we'll
like
break down the walls.
Yeah.
Multi-generational. Cool. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I can live with my parents right now.
Your dad's watching this episode. He's like, shit.
He's probably thinking the same thing.
Come over. Come live here.
Who, my dad?
Yeah.
No, my dad for sure doesn't want me living with them. I don't even doubt it for a second. I don't doubt that for 1 second. I don't blame him. We're grown men. We shouldn't live with each other.
Yeah.
It's strange. I've never even, as an adult, vacationed with my father. The idea of having to share a home with him again sounds bizarre and strange. Very strange. Like he's getting older now. I don't want to see him frail and shit in his like little underwear in the morning. I don't need that. I want to remember him in his glory. I want to remember him in his glory days, wearing tidy whities, smoking a cigarette in the morning with a mustache in 1997. He was young. He was in his prime. He didn't give a fuck.
And throwing spatulas on you.
Oh, that was later.
Before throwing spatulas.
That was later. I can feel my dad shaking his head. Like I say the words and it ripples in the universe. He's saying dumb shit about me. I feel it. I can feel it.
What the
He's like
hell
looking around. Like, what did he do now? What the fuck did he do now, that kid?
All right, guys, it's getting late. We kept Phil up. We don't want to get him in trouble.
Oh, wow, we went along. No, you kept my wife up because the bed's in here. She can't sleep.
Oh, poor girl. Yeah, do apologize for us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Phil. I appreciate it. We're gonna.
Did we start recording yet?
Imagine we hadn't been recording all this time. Yeah, I think you ignite a little curiosity in Chris, and I get excited because I've been on set with you. And
what do you? Oh, you mean professionally? Okay.
No, seriously, man. You did, and it's. I've been thinking for a while because you know what you said about your video, your filming becoming like work. I kind of went through a phase where my music did that, and I didn't like it, and I had to bring it back.
Most people do when they do.
Yeah. And you know what?
Income.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to feel guilty about it.
You lose the magic. You lose the magic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, temporarily.
Yeah. And then you have to find ways to get it back.
So you make my videos and I'll play your concerts.
Fucking awesome.
Everything's canceled because of COVID. It works out.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Once again,
AM, BM, B mage.
See hashtag.
What's the beat? Hashtag, yeah. See hashtag.
Is it on here? Can I learn? See hashtag. All right. Thank you for having me, Dad.
All right, guys.
Can I do it before we go?
Subscribe. Follow us on all the social media platforms and on all social media and whatever. It's late. Audio, social media.
All of them. Smash that like button. Smash it.
Phil, thanks again, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right.
Nice to have you on, Phil.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care, man. Have a good one.